Hello YouTube, Fred Bergeron from Inaxsys. I hope you're doing well today. In this short tutorial video, I want to show you that in Protege GX it is possible to create a new controller based on an existing one. Okay, so you can do this within the same site, but you can do this across sites. So if you have separate sites in the database or if everything is in the same site, you can use that function. This is very useful, and I find people don't use this enough. For example, if your end user, the client, has some locations are built, the same way. Like every time they build a new retail store, let's say, there's always the same number of doors and everything is very similar. Obviously, instead of reprogramming everything from scratch, every time you deploy a GX system at a new store, you can actually basically create a new controller based on an existing one. Okay, some clients will also create some templates in the database. Okay, so if you have enough doors in your license, for instance, you can create, let's say, a template for a small store, a medium store, and a large store. Okay, then the installers that are actually installing the hardware, wiring the zones and the locks and everything else, obviously all they need to do is to make sure that, let's say the fire zone is always zone 1 on the controller, and then the contacts and the recs are always wired the same way, etc. So, that's going to save you time, obviously, if you do it that way. Okay, with WX it's a bit different, because we cannot copy from a controller, but you could actually create a backup of let's say a very similar or basic site, and then you can restore this backup and modify it accordingly. So, but for GX it's very simple. Okay, so I'm going to show you how it's done. All right, let's have a look. So as you can see in my database, I have controller 1, which is online. Basically, it's a very short tutorial. It's very easy to do. When you click on the plus sign, you have multiple options. Okay, the basic one or the standard one when you create the first site is to bring the controller wizard, and then you define the number of modules and doors that you have in the system. Okay, in this case, I'm going to select copy an existing controller and I click OK. Okay, so if I have multiple controllers and multiple sites, you can select the site you want and the controller you want to copy from. Okay, so let's call the new controller 2. Okay, second language in our case, oops, sorry about that, that's bad copy paste, sorry. Like that. Okay, so if it's a completely, obviously different sites, maybe some of the options below you don't want to enable them. Copy global records is basically users, so I don't want to do that because I'm in the same site. Same thing with access levels, and I want to do that because I'm going to just add the doors of this new controller to the existing access levels later. Okay, and then you click on add now. So it's going to work. It's going to create doors, areas, inputs, outputs, basically everything the controller will have. But in this case, if I go to programming and doors, now I have the same name for controller 2. Okay, so you see, this is already ready for the main entrance, the employee entrance, if I had any areas in the system as well. So again, you just have to make sure you're wiring everything up to the same, physical inputs and outputs depending on the module type. And then, you just save maybe a few hours of programming. Okay, so again, this was how to copy a controller from existing one, or sorry, to create a controller based on an existing one. And I hope you liked the video. If you have any questions, please send them down below. And don't forget, to hit the like button and the subscribe button. Go to the Inaxsys website for help with support and sales teams. Okay, and again, thanks for watching. Fred Bergeron from Inaxsys.